YouTube fan community, Chaeyoung fans, random people on the internet, my name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about Chaeyoung's debut album, Chaeyoung from TWICE, Little Fantasy Volume 1. Now the fourth member of TWICE to put out solo material, this record finds Chaeyoung in a much more reflective, vibey kind of state. She called it
Lil.
fantasy and kind of imagined this like castle where basically like each door, each room was a different mood, a different vibe, a different feeling she was experiencing, and wanted to create that little world for herself. Originally intended for an April 25 release, this record got pushed back to just recently in September of 25 here. Chaeyoung really wanted to put the final touches on this album to make sure it sounded like her, to make sure it was authentic, it was honest, it was vulnerable. This album sees her play with a lot of textures. There's a lot of guitar on this album. She plays guitar on this album. There's a lot of like moody, atmospheric, dreamy sequences, creating a world that doesn't exactly sound like what TWICE puts out on a fairly consistent basis. She's drawing inspiration from artists like Clairo, the Marias, and she got to work with a bunch of her friends like Glico, Sumin, Y2K92, and it's easily becoming one of my favorite albums of the year. Avocado opens this record up, and she wanted to create something that was, like I said, moody, vibey, and use the avocado as a metaphor. She wanted to write something from like the Adam and Eve perspective of the apple, but instead of writing about an apple because that's been done before, she was like, well, I love avocados. Maybe that could be the choice. I really dig the woozy guitar feel in this one. The drums that are like finding their way as the song goes, and the bass that kind of like binds it all together. Her vocals gently lilt over this entire track and just melt beautifully on these instruments. And like stylistically, choosing an avocado as the imagery for this track, it sounds like an avocado would feel. It's a little like mushy, a little interesting, a little bumpy, whereas an apple is more crisp, more sharp. Band-Aid comes up next, and this is another wonderful, warm, bassy, vibey track with excellent vocal harmony layerings. I feel like when she does those vocal harmonies, they just add this like warm, reassuring texture to the track, because, you know, lyrically it's about wanting that someone special to aid you, to help you, to mend you, to make you feel better, to wrap you up, to be stuck on you. You know, you're looking for that source of comfort, that source of protection. Shoot, Firecracker is the big single from this record, the big lead-off track, if you will. Love this one. It's super upbeat, it's super dancey, early 90s R&B kind of vibe. Those glistening synths, the rubbery bass, the dancey guitars. Chaeyoung's vocals on this track are so confident. They have this assured wisdom that's like leading her way to successfully navigate her heart, and it's palpable. You can feel the honesty and the journey in her voice. Girl is absolutely one of my favorite tracks on this album and one of my favorite songs of the year. It is such a beautiful piece of music where the drums and the guitar are constantly in this like woozy shuffle to figure out where the other one is, and Chaeyoung's voice is holding it all together as the glue, and it is just a poignant, heartfelt, tender ballad about expressing how you feel about someone, and it has to be a secret. It's got to be like a crush. It can't like be a thing even though you want it to be a thing. It's atmospheric, and it's a little bit like groggy in the sense that like you can tell maybe this was like a conversation, you know, that was going on deep into the night, or maybe this is a conversation within her own head that was going on deep into the night, and you're kind of left with that like burning ember of feelings and trying to keep those flames stoked, and you're wondering where it's going to go next. Ribbons comes up next. I really enjoy this track because it's like, you know, you can be tough, you can get through things, but like stay delicate, you know, like a ribbon. Stay yourself, stay bendable, don't become a rigid, hard sort of thing. There's a great line in this track, friend turned to fog, I analyze. And it's like, what happens when friends disappear? You sit there and think about it. It's a trip. The fuzzy synth on the chorus of this track is so cool, mixed with those loud crashing drums and the way she projects her voice, which is probably the closest thing to her rapping on this record, which is what she's known for. She's one of the rappers in TWICE, and there's no rapping on this record. This is the closest she gets to it, and it's very effective. Downpour follows that up, and it's the end of a relationship, but a very one-sided one where, you know, you can tell she's put in all the work and the other person just hasn't. They haven't cared, they haven't, you know, given the 1,000,000% that Chaeyoung or the protagonist has given. And it's about watching things kind of crumble away. And, you know, downpour, it's rain. So when things are raining, it's hard to look for the happiness. And, you know, when you leave a relationship, it's tough. BF comes up next, and this is a really heartbreaking song, you know, about a lack of friends and wondering if, as she says in the song, if her stuffed animals are her friends. There's more of those at one point in her life than actual people. And you know, it's about accepting that when you kind of grow up, sometimes you lose a lot of the friends that you had when you were younger because circumstances change, people grow up, people move, people start families. It's different than how it used to be when you're young. And especially in her case, being in one of the most popular groups in the world, it's tough to make friends and it's tough to be like a normal person, which transitions beautifully into Shadow Puppets, which is just a heartbreaking song about celebrity and understanding that you might never be able to go back to how you were before you were famous. And she said that this is one of the songs that like made her cry as she was singing it, because it's a challenging juxtaposition to be in, where like you work hard for your art and you believe in it and you love that there's an audience that accepts your art and wants more of it. But it's also kind of like, man, I can't go to the grocery store without getting seen. I can't just go get fast food somewhere. Like I can't just do normal person stuff. And it's, the music on this track is so bright and optimistic and cheery, and vocally the lyrics are just so hard. And you know, like I used the word before, juxtaposition, where it's like musically it sounds like things are going well, but lyrically it sounds like things can be tough, and that's a weird balance to juggle. My Guitar is a track that she actually showcased throughout TWICE's most recent tour, and it's just her and her guitar. She's expressing herself and analyzing what it means to put yourself out there, especially when you're alone. If it's just you and your guitar, she's singing about the comfort of the guitar being there to help her fix, you know, understand her feelings and get them out, and how much it hurts her fingers to keep playing and find the right notes and find the right chords. That relationship you have with an instrument is unshakable and something that's kind of difficult to explain. So sometimes your guitar is the best journal you can have. And on the LP version and the CD version, you get an extra bonus track, Lonely Doll Waltz, which is a beautiful, gentle ending to this record. It's just keyboard kind of experimenting with a motif, adding little bits here and there, and ends gently as if you were, you know, bouncing in your dreams before you fall asleep. This is the Target version of the record, which comes with a slip mat. Very cool. A giant poster. And of course a photo card. Here's the inside of the record. And I love this inner sleeve. This easily could have been the artwork for the record itself. And for Target, it's on this beautiful green avocado vinyl. Chaeyoung has said how important it was to make a record that she believed in, that she felt meant something, and that she wanted to give something to her fans that was tangible and honest and real. And boy, did she deliver. This record is vibey, it's moody, it's atmospheric, it's incredibly heartfelt and incredibly deep. And there's moments where she really lets you in on who she is as a person and what she's going through. It's such a departure from TWICE and from the majority of K-pop, which is very expressive and buoyant and happy and cheerful. Of course, not all songs are that way, but there's an intense amount of layering and richness to most K-pop songs, you know, because it's like just good on the ears. But this album happily strips all of that away, all of that back. The closest she gets to a K-pop song on this record is Shoot, the lead single from the record. And I would love to see some of these more quiet, vibey songs become singles, because this side of Chaeyoung, I feel like it's something that a lot of fans always knew was in there. And seeing her take a break from rapping and really express herself so earnestly is a rewarding listen. It's a beautiful listen, and it's easily one of my favorite albums of the year. So there you go, Chaeyoung, Little Fantasy Volume 1. It's easily an 8 or 9 for me out of 10. I have been really enjoying this since it came out. It's a pretty short record, so it flies by, but you get so much out of it in that short amount of time. Love it. My name is Giggens. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this brand new album in the comment section below. And if you're new here, thanks for being here. Go ahead and follow me on all the platforms. I'm on Instagram, obviously here on YouTube. More to come, much more to come. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.